Was it a sort of conscious decision you made sort of early on to try out lots of different genres, or was it something that you just kind of found yourself doing over time?
I think personally I've always been quite diverse with music anyway. I've always been into a lot of music. I haven't been like the standard hip hop guy, do you know what I mean? I love hip hop, it's like my primary thing, but I just wanted to get myself out there a bit more and sort of be that diverse person, do you know what I mean? So,
because what I've thought of really is with some MCs I've found who it can be a bit of a problem for them, because obviously in the hip hop community you tend to get a bit of, I don't know if you want to call it snobbery, but the purest hip hop people might not like the other people coming in from grime or something like that. Have you found that people tend to like not really accept you as a proper artist?
I think it's with, like you said, with the guys that are very sort of closed-minded, do you know what I mean? They will, if it's not their certain type of thing, then maybe, you know, maybe they're going to say something about it. But I think personally a lot of people that are in the, you know, that are not extreme are more sort of like open to what I do in different ways, you know what I mean? So it outweighs the bad, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, because it does seem like now in sort of, I suppose if you want to call it urban music in general, there's a lot of kind of crossover. I mean, tiny tempos gets called hip hop, people like N-dubs get called grime. Mainstream media don't really seem to know how to label it all. I mean, do you think that's kind of a healthy thing for the music scene, for all the genres to cross-pollinate, or do you think there's kind of maybe a loss of kind of the purity of what the style was originally meant to be?
I sort of sit in between the two on this one because, like I said, I love hip hop, I love traditional hip hop, but in the same way I think artists should be allowed to do what they want to do anyway, do you know what I mean? So I think the boundaries get crossed and people call it grime when it's actually pop, or you know, things like that. But I think on the whole, I think if an artist feels comfortable doing something, then I think they should do it.
You can usually catch me on a deep night session, working hard just to keep progressing. The pen and the pad is my baby, beat is my lady. This is my safety, study harder than most, I'm an ace, stop training. With more haste, I'ma go faster with no brakes. See me, disregard all safety. Might get knocked down and get knocked down again, but I return with a smile. I might move a bit at a time, but in the end, I'ma go the whole mile. So why the track to see catch up? I'll improve my stature. Did I can't match up on the factors, even they will greet me with rapture. I don't lack grit, never said the words like that's it. That's crits like a matchstick. Rub me up the wrong way and I'll get fiery, but I don't wanna get distracted by the sight I'm holding on. Still folks belong to keep holding on, like locusts on the control and one ain't.
Obviously, urban music now is really one of the most mainstream sounds. It's regularly top the charts. I've heard Leona Lewis is going to do a dubstep track on a new album. So it's pretty much kind of, these sounds are kind of as mainstream as you can get now. Yeah. I mean, do you think that's a good thing, or do you think it should be something that's kept underground?
I think with the dubstep's become so massive now. Like Britney Spears has done something and whatnot. I think it's a double-edged sword, innit? I think it's a good thing in a way, because obviously, you know, these guys that are making it have been there since day, do you know what I mean? They're starting to make money now, they're starting to progress. But in the same way, I think, you know, sort of the underground fans are not going to like it, because obviously when something becomes commercial, they feel like it's not theirs, do you know what I mean? So I think it goes both ways, do you know what I mean?
So how about yourself as an artist? I mean, would you want to go mainstream? Do you want to see your name in the charts at some point?
It's a difficult question.
Yeah, I mean,
with some of my music, I think it has a commercial potential, but whether I want to be like the top mainstream guy, I don't know, man. I just want to make music and see where it goes. Do you know what I mean? I think it's simple as that. I'm not aiming to be driving a Bentley next year or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to make music. People like it, they like it.
I didn't write a book, bro, I wrote the song. I'm still living on broken funds, so this goes out to anyone with drive determination. You know we're gaining a rightful place up in the constellation.
So much feeling in my life, so much beeping, so much strength. Trying to hit it, but I'm needing for a meaning or a sign. I can't sit and wonder why, but my words would undermine. I just wanna underline, I ain't going anywhere. So much feeling in my life, so much beeping, so much strength. Trying to hit it, but I'm needing for a meaning or a sign. I can't sit and wonder why, but my words would undermine.
And yeah, talking about mainstream potential, I mean, obviously you've got female vocalists on your on the track you've got a video out for at the moment. Jasmine Knight, is
Yeah.
that right? And so obviously that adds a bit more potential for it, you know, crossing over and being listened to by different audiences. But was that the intention with that, to try and make that a bit more kind of friendly to those kind of audiences?
Yeah, I think without meaning to sound like I sort of, you know, I'm made for that to be a poppy track or whatever. I actually wrote a hook for myself, but I can't sing very well, so I asked Jasmine. Shouts to Jasmine, by the way. I think it's what, you know, as soon as I heard her sing it, I knew it sounded like a hit. Do you know what I mean? So the response we've been getting so far has been really good. So yeah, it's one, you know, things happen by accident and then they become commercial or accessible, and you know, you didn't particularly mean it at the start. Do you know what I mean? But if it comes, it comes.
Yeah, so that's probably the way to go about it. Really, stick to what you do best and don't sell out. And if it becomes popular, then that's all good.
Definitely.
So how did you get in touch with Jasmine? Is she someone you've known for a while? Or?
No, it's through Facebook. Yeah, I think I added her because I saw she was a singer, and then, you know, we checked out each other's stuff and then talked about working together. It's just, you know, Facebook's very good for networking, as you know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just one of them. Yeah, just, you know, a coincidental thing that happens. Also, shouts to Cynikal, who's on the track, which is, you know, the same way on Facebook. You know, exchanged tracks, felt each other's music, and then decided to collab. So, you know, Facebook's very good for stuff like that. Yeah,
because I hear that from a lot of people, and I think it's probably something that's quite interesting for you know, people maybe just starting out in this kind of thing. Is just generally, how would you go about finding people to collaborate with, and how do you go about approaching them?
I think for me personally, I use a lot of Facebook, and obviously word of mouth, and maybe doing gigs and people hear you, etc. But I think mainly at the minute, you know, my thing is Facebook. I don't just use the internet or whatever, do you know what I mean? I like to go out there and sell physical CDs and do live shows and whatever, but I think Facebook's helped me a lot to get to people that I wouldn't usually see in the road or etc. So I think it's Facebook's the one for sort of like getting out there a little bit more.
So efficient, cutting out the snitches from my lifeblood. I don't need to diss them. I am the purest vision. There ain't another. I'm the undercover brother that will uncover you suckers, whether you like it or not. I got 2 Macs in a box. I can put the title up and get it back after you flop. I'm the reason why you're creeping like a fox. I see you fiends are trying to teeth a little piece of what I got. That's why I'm keeping what I got close. Never let the cards show. Always play the hand that I've been dealt. However tough, so I cherish every opportunity, and I have not mowed once about the ones that I have lost. Cause what's the loss?
Talking about Jasmine Knight, I suppose. There's not a lot of women in hip hop, really. There's compared with you know, obviously there's R&B crossover with hip hop, but not really with purest hip hop. Not in grime, not in any of these kind of urban genres. Why do you think that is?
Hip hop and urban music has always been a very male-orientated music. For the simple fact is, a lot of it's very, very braggy and sort of like, you know, that's just the, you know, that's the form of hip hop. You know, it's going since it was started. You know what I mean? Like, I got this, I got that, I'm better than you, and I would say, you know, hip hop is probably more sort of like 80% male-orientated. You know, from listeners. So, you know, guys for some reason would rather listen to guys bragging about stuff, do you know what I mean? But I rate a lot of female MCs and singers anyway, so I think it's a good look to get that balance, and, you know, it's all good.
Or the air to make a difference, so put them in the sky if you relate to what I'm spitting.
So much feeling in my life, so much grief, so much struggle. Trying to hit it, but I'm needing for a meaning or a sign. I can't sit and wonder why, but my words would undermine. I just wanna underline, I ain't going anywhere. So much feeling in my life, so much grief, so much struggle. Trying to hit it, but I'm needing for a meaning or a sign. I can't sit and wonder why, but my words would undermine. I just wanna underline, I ain't going anywhere.
So yeah, so specifically talking about your collaboration with Cynikal and Jasmine Knight.
Yeah.
So what was it about Cynikal that first kind of made you think you wanted to collaborate with him?
I think Cynikal's, he sent me a video on Facebook, checked it out on YouTube. I think his style is quite similar to mine, but, you know, I think, you know, he's a very talented guy. I think he's just one of them. I like the flow, delivery, wordplay. Same with Jasmine. As soon as I heard her, I knew it was the sort of level of artist that I want to be collaborating with. So it's just one of them, you know. If people got talent, then then I work with them. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them.
So are you ever worried about people maybe like, well, just outshining you on your own stuff? Because some artists only like to collaborate with people who are obviously worse than them.
I'm sure they are, but personally I can't understand that, because if you've got aspirations to get to the top of the food chain, and then you know you've got to collaborate with people that may or may not, you know, outshine you or whatever. You know, if talented people, there's always going to be people that other people rate on a track, or they're going to rate your verse. If you're on the same level as them, then it's always going to be quite even. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So do you find it does kind of push you if you get someone who's really good with it? Do you feel the need to kind of end up your game?
Yeah, definitely. My close friend Diaz, we collaborate a lot, and you know I rate him on a national level, and it's quite interesting to hear his verse, and then you know it pushes me on to do something, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? So it's good to have that healthy competition.
Yeah. So and I suppose the sort of bottom line of this is sort of what you generally look for in collaborators. I mean, so say for example, if someone is just coming through now and they think, yeah, I'd like to collaborate with you, what sort of what kind of attributes would they need to demonstrate to you for you to consider working with them?
I think obviously talented. I appreciate work rate, because I know a lot of talented people that won't push themselves. They'll ask you to be on the track, you give them a verse, it might take 3 months to come back or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So obviously I respect people that are driven. Driven and determined to get to where they want to be.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be something a lot of people are lacking. There's so many talented people about, but being talented isn't enough. They talk the talk but don't do anything about it. I mean, do you see that? I mean, do you do?
Yeah, a lot. I find the difference between sort of good artists and artists that actually have a chance to get somewhere with it. I think it's all down to the work rate. As long as you're working, you're always going to be improving and learning new things and etc. So I think this year I've obviously been trying to keep a constant product coming out every week. So it's just like, just slowly moving, getting the snowball going. So I think work rate is key for me.
Yeah. And do you actually notice an improvement in yourself? I mean, how long have you been in the game now?
I've been in the game properly for probably about a year and a half since I signed with Fresh Beat Recordings. So since then I've sort of done the work rate, and I think anyone will tell you from what I was doing then to what I'm doing now, it's been a massive progression. So I just want to keep that going.
Before see my life flash before my eyes, I'ma move far faster than I possibly can. I'm real, so I always make sure my honesty shown. If people believe blown, and my monikers known, when the mans and the girls around the world, I find my purpose. But you won't catch me in a lounging surface. I take it back to 93. I was a young child living in poverty. A slave life where we lack checks, but crap crepes, major mockery. It don't add up. But subtracting the bad times and the way we divided, it equal the life that I'm glad that I live, cause it made me the man that I'm today.
So have you got any other sort of collaborations in the pipeline that we should look out for?
I've got so much stuff going on, but I've got the Working Class Hero mixtape. I got a feature on Stealth's album. Shout out to Stealth. That's with got a load of big acts on there. Joel Ortiz, Jadakiss, Rusty Jux, people like that. So it's gonna be a really good look. I'm on the Clubland Smash 2 album in May. Apart from
that one seems a bit of a weird one. How did that come about?
That come about through a DJ that I know that I work with called DJ Storm. Shouts to Storm. He just, he was dealing with them. He mixed the last one or whatever. So they needed an MC. They couldn't get, they needed an MC at the last minute. I gave them something, and then they liked it, and I've sort of like been working with them since. So it's good to sort of like do other stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I feel quite happy to go into another genre and get respected there as well. So it's it's a good thing.
Striving, those mountains, I'm still climbing them on my own vibe. Busting, I guys got to the roadside, still believing I'm so nice. Girls fight over me now. When they used to act, they didn't know me. How funny, without money, I made it spin like the crash test dummies. That's what music do. I'm on winning, I don't care what the losers do. Hot shots don't hit, the losers shoot. If you're watching me, then who's losing? This goes out to anyone with drive and determination. You know we're getting a rightful place up in the constellation.
Excellent. And then so you've got a mixtape coming soon. When's
that
likely to hit the streets?
Working Class Hero is coming out on a free download on freshbeatrecordings.co.uk. It's coming out on the same day as I Ain't Going Anywhere, which is being released on iTunes March the 7th, which is also my birthday. So I've got a lot of things going on at that time. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time to bring out, you know, different products and try and progress with the work rate. So.
Yeah, excellent. And have you got kind of an ultimate ambition in this sort of game, or are you just kind of taking it one day at a time?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times, you know, I plan things and I plan stuff that's coming out, but I don't really plan for the reaction. I just, you know, put stuff out there and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, if people like it, whether it's, you know, 100 people or 10,000 people, then, you know, I'm gonna put it out there. Do you know what I mean?
Excellent. Do you think you'll have an artist album out at any point?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I was gonna put it out myself, but I think I'd rather wait, get the fan base out there, and then, you know, see if anyone wants to invest. So, you know, when I do it, I want to do it properly. Do you know what I mean? So I'm working towards it.
So much feeling in my life.